Hey guys, it's me, Travis, with PlayerProps.ai. This is what we're locking in for Thursday Night Football Week 8. We have the Minnesota Vikings versus the LA Rams. It looks like Cooper Kupp is going to be back. Puka has been, I think, activated off the IR, but not placed on the active roster, so I don't think Puka's coming back this week, but he is on his way back. And there's just a lot of other trade rumors going on involving both of these teams. So we'll see what happens with that. But this is what we're locking in on bnfantasy.com. Now, if this is your first time tuning in to anything we've done on YouTube, hey, welcome. What's going on? My name's Travis. I already covered that, but just to reiterate, make sure you click the subscribe button. If you haven't yet, click the thumbs up on this video. Now, if you're like, what the heck is bnfantasy.com? It's pretty simple. First off, if you live in a state that's blue, you need to go to bnfantasy.com and create a free account. If you live in a state that has letters in it, which are also the blue states, in case you're colorblind, go to bnfantasy.com and create your account. Now, it's active in all of these states. There's 30 plus states there. Washington, D.C. is also part of it. But in a nutshell, we have a ton of videos teaching you how to play this app. The quickest way I can explain there's two different game modes. If you look at the top of the phone, you see there says Rivals and Head-to-Head on top. Right now, for these shows, we pretty much focus solely on Rivals. As you see on the screen, we're choosing a player versus another player. So the first thing you see right to my, I guess right on the screen, my left shoulder, is Sam Darnold versus Matthew Stafford. The top left of that says passing yards. We're trying to see which player is going to get more passing yards in the game. Look underneath the player names. You see Matthew Stafford has a bonus of 6 yards. So whatever they finish with in Thursday Night Football's game, the actual game they're playing, you're going to tack on 6 extra yards to Matthew Stafford's total. After you tack on 6 extra yards, which one finishes with the most passing yards, and that's what you have to decide. And you can choose either option. So the other game mode is called Head-to-Head, and it works. You're still going essentially against something else. I'll pull it up here in a second. Where is it at? Boom, there. So the Head-to-Head, you're going against essentially the app. The app picks a lineup. The first option here you see is 4 players. Justin Jefferson, the MVP spot, which means he gets 1.5x his score. Addison, Darnold, and Colby Parkinson, the Rams tight end. So what you have to do is you have to pick 4 players. Now, every player has a salary cap. It's very similar to that DraftKings FanDuel lineup style. Every player has a salary, so you have to fit within the salary cap allowed. Can you pick 4 players to go against those 4 that are playing in Thursday Night Football that are going to outscore them with fantasy score? If you don't know anything about what their fantasy score is, how many points for what thing, just tap in the top right. You see where it says scoring right underneath filter. Tap on that, and that'll show you the fantasy scoring as well. So yeah, you can apply all of the projections you get from the PlayerProps.ai app to the head-to-head. You can do it to the Rivals as well. But again, for this show, we're going to focus just on what's available for Thursday Night Football for Week 8 for their Rivals game mode. They also have NBA available every single day. There's an NBA game. NBA is now live, so you can play NBA with this as well. But again, this show is going to focus on Thursday Night Football. We are building in a tool into the PlayerProps.ai app that is specifically geared towards bnfantasy.com's game options, I guess you can call them that. Until that happens, we're going to have this little cheat sheet, if you want to call it that I put together. And so I'll explain how this works. So in the first column under stat, right here, you see where it says, we have passing yards, rush yards. So that tells you the stat. The next column is the players that are versing each other. This projections column here is like, okay, if you remember what I just showed you, every single matchup, almost every matchup, 99% of them will have one player having a bonus. So in this, we've already factored in the bonuses here. The bonuses have already been factored in. So after we factor in the bonus of what bnfantasy.com gets each of these players for their stat, we then do the math. Which one has a higher projection? Darnold does, but by how much? 15.01 passing yards. So that's how this works. And then when we get down here, you'll see when you scroll down on the bnfantasy.com app that there are options to do 2v2. So example, they have receiving yards, Justin Jefferson and Colby collectively receiving yards, Kupp and Aaron Jones collectively receiving yards. Again, the bonuses for those 2v2s already factored in. So now that we've covered all those things for people that are tuning in for the first time, again, every single person on planet Earth that lives in one of these places, not every single person on planet Earth, every single person in the blue state is what I meant to say. You should have this on your phone. BeinFantasy.com. And if you see right below my face, it says promo code SWEATFREE. They're doing a $250 risk-free first entry. So essentially, and it's up to $250. So if you've seen the screenshots and you've been paying attention to anything inside of our community Discord, which again is free to join, what we recommend doing, because it's only a one-time promo, you don't want to deposit whatever you're going to deposit and then only play $5 on the first entry to get your feet wet, because you're going to waste the money back. Essentially, you can call it like a money back guarantee, where you deposit $250 at least if you can. Your first entry is a $250 entry, because that's the max amount the promo allows. You play any of these things I'm showing you on screen if it's going to be your first entry, and then if you play something on screen and it winds up not hitting, that $250 gets kicked back to you in the form of site credits. You can use that again for other contests. So that's how the promo works in a nutshell. Definitely milk the $250 as much as you can of it, whatever you're comfortable depositing, whatever is your expendable income. But yeah, so now that all the housekeeping stuff is covered, let's go through what we're looking at here. So, of course, there's only two quarterbacks. There's only one passing yard comparison, Darnold and Stafford. Darnold has a 15.01 edge. For passing yards, I would like to see something higher than 15, but I don't hate it. Game theory-wise, if we assume that the Rams are going to be down the entire game, then we can assume that Stafford's going to be passing a lot more than Darnold. So with that factoring in, and he's also getting cut back. So factoring that in and the 15 difference, I'm not in love with his passing yards. Rush yards, we have Aaron Jones and Kyren. Kyren has a nice 13.59 edge. For rushing yards, I like this. I think anything close to 15 or higher is pretty good. So this 13.59 makes sense. I feel like he's had a better season as well than Jones, but don't quote me on that because I haven't pulled up their past history just yet, which is available on the app. Receiving yards, we have the highest difference we've seen yet as we go down this list, 19.62. I believe Kupp gets the bonus, but even with Kupp's bonus, JJ still has the projection to outdo him by 20 receiving yards. I don't think Kupp's going to come in game one after his injury and light it up for 100 yards and go crazy like Kupp can do. So I kind of really like JJ over Kupp here. If you remember from my Monday Night Football show that we did, I don't think I'm ever going to play receptions on this app, ever. It's just there's enough edges with other stats and there's just not anything with receptions. So like, for example, JJ versus Kupp receptions, projection-wise and bonuses factored in, he's only he's not even getting a full reception over Kupp. And again, we know that Kupp can go crazy. We have to see what happens with his first game back from injury. So I don't like that one. Colby, Addison, if you paid attention to our show that we emailed you, we blasted on social media, we blasted in Discord, which you should be paying attention by now to the blast, because again, these shows we do hit a lot more than they don't, so you should be factoring those in to your decision making. But we really like Addison this week. Addison has 15.42 over the tight end. Colby for the Rams, who has 37.93, so I like this one as well. So right now, the two that I like pretty much the receiving yards, I think JJ over Kupp right now and Addison over Colby. As we go down, we see another reception prop here, Addison and Tutu. The only difference is 0.13. I don't think actually either of these two players have a bonus. This is just a true heads-up, head-to-head kind of contest. And I don't like it. 0.13, no edge. This one's interesting. So it's JJ versus DeMarcus Robinson. D-Rob gets a massive bonus on this one, and I was interested to see what the difference was. After you factor in D-Rob's insane bonus of like 57 yards or something crazy, JJ only has a lead of 1.39. So because D-Rob is so close to JJ receiving yards projection-wise with his bonus factored in, we're not touching that one. We go one more down here to another receiving yards prop, Addison over Kupp. So Addison, again, our AI really likes Addison for Thursday Night Football Week 8. And again, we're not projecting Cup to go crazy because coming off an injury and a million other factors on top of that. So this actually is the biggest difference on this slate for this contest. 22.69 Addison over Cup. And so then we get to the 2v2s I mentioned earlier. J.J. Colby receiving yards versus Cup and Aaron Jones receiving yards. The combo, the first combo there has a 15.86. That's, I mean, I don't hate it. I feel like combos should have like 20 yards or more, but it's playable. I don't hate it. But what I do hate, again, receptions. These JJ Cup versus Addison 2-2, 0.55 difference when everything's factored in. And then this, I was very interested to see that JJ and Kyron versus Cup and Addison are almost identical. Only a 0.9 receiving yards difference, not even a full yard difference. So, to do a quick recap of the things that are playable for Week 8. You can play Kyron rushing yards. I don't hate it. But if we're going to rank things based on edge value, Addison over Cup, JJ over Cup, I probably would say so I know this is 15.86, but I think I like Addison over Colby more, even though it's slightly less edge. So number 3 would be Addison over Colby. So we have what? 1, 2, 3. And then I guess this 2v2 would be number 4, and the Kyron one would be number 5. And then everything else I'm not going to touch. But those are the 5 in order based on edge values and everything. The best part about this community, about this YouTube channel, about everything that you're downloading right now on your phone and subscribing YouTube channel, you're doing all the free stuff. You're like, man, this is awesome. Let me get integrated with this community. The best thing is there's never a dumb question in the Discord. If you ever have a question about anything that has to do with beinfantasy.com, or a question about anything that has to do with PlayerProps.ai, anything at all, never hesitate to ask a question in the community Discord. There's 14,000 people more than happy to answer your question. And if you're still gun shy about asking questions, you can just open up a support ticket in Discord where I can answer it one-on-one directly, or you can send me a DM on Discord. Support ticket's pretty much the easiest way to do that if you want if you want to ask a question in private. But yeah, everybody's helpful. We got a nice community we put together. We kicked out all the trolls, got rid of all the chaos. We had a nice community of people who are very helpful for each other. Everybody wants to see everybody win. That is beinfantasy.com's Thursday Night Football play. Again, for the trillionth time, if you exist in one of these states, or if you spend a lot of time in one of these states, beinfantasy.com. I know I say it's really easy to win on, but this, if you haven't heard me explain this is why. Let's say, for example, you're doing Addison versus Cup, right? If you were to do a traditional player prop of Addison over yards, let's say whatever his yards line is, say like 50 over under 45 yards. Let's just say his line's 45 yards, and he has a horrible game. So you go over 45, he has a horrible game. He only finishes, maybe not a horrible game. Maybe say he finishes with 35. So you miss your over 45 prop. But on this contest, when you're doing Addison versus Cup, let's say Cup only gets 10 yards. Let's say he gets a reception, gets hurt, and he gets removed from the game for the rest of the game. He only gets 10 yards. Even though the over prop on Addison would miss, this contest of Addison versus Cup would still hit, because as long as Addison has more receiving yards than Cup, that is all that matters. It doesn't matter if Addison finishes with 1 and Cup, or finishes with 2 and Cup finishes with 1. As long as Addison has more. So this actually allows you the opportunity for the player that you would normally do a player prop on. It allows them the opportunity to suck as long as the opponent in this contest sucks even more. So that's why we really like beinfantasy.com. And that's, like I said, if you're in one of the states, it's a no-brainer. If you have any questions about it, let me know. Good luck Thursday Night Football, Week 8. And we'll see you guys this weekend.